Good evening, everybody. TJ Stevens here for PW Mania. This evening, I got to tell you, when I started interviewing people last year, I didn't see this one coming. Eva Marie is with us.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I'm a fan, so it's cool. It's definitely one of those things that it's always fun when you're a fan of a show to come on as well and be a guest. So thank you for having me.
It's the pleasure is all mine. Now, I was talking to some of your people before we started the show, and what's nice about interviews like this, because obviously we've all seen you from the lens of WWE, because
Sure.
you know success is based on a personal level or a personal perception, but you were a huge part of that show, and we'll get to that part at the end. I
Yeah.
want to save that for the end, but
Okay.
I learned so much about you. I didn't know, researching this topic with you, that we have so many things to talk about, and so many things that actually touch me in my life also. So that's what I'm looking forward to here. One of the things that I caught my eye was in 2017. I had never heard of this before. You were in a 4-person tournament for the E-League Street Fighter 5. First of all, are you a video gamer?
Okay, so my husband is a huge gamer. I met him when he was working at Blizzard, which is a gaming company. They make like World of Warcraft and
Whoa.
yeah. No, Jonathan is. I say this in the nicest way, and so people don't get offended. But he is a nerd, but in like the best way. Nerds are amazing, and my husband happens to be a big time nerd. So he is the gamer. However, I do my best. A little bit I dabble in sometimes. I mean, he's a gamer where he will stay up. Like I think he played oh my gosh. The name of the game is slipping my mind, but he played this game 160 hours of it until he beat it. Um so he is that type of gamer when it comes to it. But yes, I got to play in the tournament with E League. Shaq was my uh rival, I would say.
Mm.
And it was amazing.
So we're gonna ignore that I have 11 consoles on the wall right there for right
Yeah,
now,
do
but
you know that's like okay, so we have two TVs in our family room, and it's because my husband just so that he feels like better where we could be watching a show or something and he could be like playing a game. He's a lunatic. Yeah. I
I'm
say that and
embarrassed.
I
Right on the other side of this wall is our family room that I built in the basement. 2 TVs.
okay, so you and Jonathan already I want to call him in here because I'm like, it's gonna kill me with I don't remember the game that he played. It was just recent. Oh, Elden Ring. He just yelled it.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
Elden Ring, he played I think 160 hours of that bad boy. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he's that guy.
Um, we'll we'll come back to that later. So, but the one thing that I liked out of this was this was for charity,
Yes.
and you supported the American Cancer Society.
Hmm.
Now, was this a sponsorship given to you, or did you choose it?
No, I chose it because and for everybody like all my first of all, the WWE universe is the best fan base in the world. I know my character is a heel and I'm a bad guy, but when I get to meet and interact with the WWE universe in person, everyone is absolutely amazing. And so they'll probably know a little bit of what I'm talking about because you got to see kind of a lot of my life kind of journey on the reality show Total Divas. So in season one, you got to see a little bit of just my family and then my dad's health kind of story. And so my dad was diagnosed with cancer when I was 15 initially, and so he was diagnosed with colon cancer, and then went through all of the phases and everything like that. And he's doing well now, but he still has cancer that he has to go and get treatment for every single week. So that's why that organization was something that is near and dear to my heart.
It's interesting you say that, because we had a talk a little bit before we started here, and when I was in college, we had to do a media packet for a
Mm-hmm.
sponsorship. My group chose American Cancer Society because my mom has had cancer twice,
Okay.
The first time when I was 7.
Wow.
Then the second time she got it, I was 9, and she had to have a complete hysterectomy. Excuse me.
Wow.
And then the third time, she actually, so I left for basic training in 2003, or I'm sorry, 2004.
Oh,
And she knew before I left that she had a growth in her lung, but didn't tell me until I was in basic for 2 weeks, because she knew if she told me beforehand, I wouldn't leave.
right.
So yeah, that's American Cancer Society has always had a place in my heart too. So that's so glad you picked that one, because they're wonderful over there.
And thank you for your service. What unit?
I was
What
in the Air
branch?
Force. I was Langley Air Force Base is where I was.
Amazing. My dad served in the Marines, so he's a Vietnam veteran.
We have
So
connections all over
he's
the place. This is phenomenal.
so he's a tough mofo, that guy.
Yes, no, no question. You came back. So the following year you came back, and this time you sponsored A21.
Hmm.
So I had not heard of this. I had to
Okay.
research this too. So tell the listeners / readers of this what A21 is and what they do.
Basically, it's another organization that is, trying to stop sex trafficking. Really, that's like the main kind of cliff notes on that organization, which is something that is happening every single day. And it's kind of scary in the sense of how frequent, how often, and that we don't hear about. So that's what also drew me to that organization as well.
That's amazing things. Again, it's things like this that I find out while I'm researching, interview topics. So this
Sure.
all great stuff. One other thing, in 2019, you are the second person I've interviewed now that was on Big Brother.
Oh, really? Okay.
So the first one was Jesse Goddard's.
Okay.
He was on in
Amazing.
2008, I believe.
Okay.
So what was your experience like on Big Brother?
Oh my God, it was seriously the best time ever. So I would do it again. I've been asked before if I would ever, go back and do Celebrity Big Brother again, and I totally would. I had not only the best time, but uh it is just such a cool experience in the sense from every avenue, right? You're dealing with like so many personalities. You're also playing a game. So my husband is a gamer, so I feel like that definitely kind of helped, but really it is totally a mental game because you're stuck in a house, you have no contact with the outside world, so you don't know like what news is going on, you're not scrolling the gram, you're not paying attention to uh what's happening in your own personal life, you're not talking to your spouse or significant other, friends, your kids. So I feel like for me, it was amazing. It was almost like a vacation because I was like, your only focus is right here, right now. And plus, I'm lucky in the sense of my husband happens to be my business partner. And so I know that the ship isn't sinking.
Mhm.
All things are handled and everything is well. I don't have any children. So I think that played a massive benefit for me because I feel like I think the hardest would be for like the moms because they're so used to being very much, especially if they have the younger kids, would be very difficult to be away from your house for that extended period of time. But for me, I was like, game on, let's do this, and it's fun. It was amazing. I had such a blast that I wish that it was longer. So ours was only, I believe, 30 days, and the original season I believe is 90. So I would totally go and do a 90-day one for sure.
Again, it's just it's amazing how small not just the world is, but especially the wrestling world, where you're the second person I've interviewed that's been on
Yeah.
Big Brother. All right, so we're on to WWE here.
Yeah.
So again, your career, I would say, was successful, just
Thank
based
you.
off the things that you would normally base it on. But when you made this venture, were you always a wrestling fan, or was this something you picked up later? How did you become interested in a career with WWE?
So basically, the way that I kind of walked into WWE was one of those things. I went on open audition. At the time, they called them diva searches. They don't do them anymore, but basically, they go around to all the major cities and they're looking for the next WWE diva. Obviously, now we're not called divas anymore. We're called superstars.
Mm-hmm.
So at the time, I had finished college, moved to Los Angeles. I was going on auditions quite frequently. This one happened to fall into my lap. I walk into Los Angeles headquarters. I look up and I see, the posters, Hulk Hogan, the pay-per-views, and I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. This is like insane. This is what I used to watch back in the day when it was WWF.
Mm-hmm.
And like the Hulk Hogan era. And then everything started to click. So initially when I walked in, had I watched the product and was like a super, super fan? No. But it had everything that I wanted to do in my career infused into one spot. So like I was missing that competition, that physicality that you need to have 100% to step into the squared circle. You get to perform live in front of a live audience. You get to travel the world. WWE does so many amazing things within the community. I've gotten to go to Afghanistan twice to visit our troops and do a bunch of other things, be a star rallies and things, and go to hospitals and things of that nature. And then also you get to build a character to hopefully, as we call in wrestling, get over, but my situation is a little bit different because I went on the audition, fell in love with it, and I was like, holy, like, I want this so bad, like life-changing in the sense of it has everything that I want to do in my life infused into one spot. And I was just going in for a developmental contract. So what that is you audition, then the last round was a in-ring physicality tryout to see if you could handle inside the ring. And 4 girls dropped out immediately because I don't care what anybody says. This shit is hard.
Mm-hmm.
You're not just walking in there. And I mean, when you're even running the ropes, you're getting bruised up. And I'm a field athlete. So even doing forward and backward rolls, I was like, holy smokes, this shit's crazy. But I fell in love with it. After the 4 weeks, I got my developmental contract. And all that meant was I was going to move to Tampa because at the time, that's where their training facility was. And that's where you basically train to learn how to wrestle, build your character, and then hope that you get called up to the big leagues, which is Monday Night Raw, Friday Night SmackDown. But God put me in the right place at the right time. And luckily they were filming or starting to film Total Divas at that same time. And they just so happened to want 2 girls that didn't know how to wrestle, were brand spanking new, and followed their journey. And lo and behold, I got that. So basically I went from just doing my in-ring tryout to all of a sudden my first day on the job, WrestleMania.
Who was your trainer when you started?
There was Norman at my tryouts. It was Norman, Sarah, Bill DeMont was there. So those were the 3 prominent trainers at that time at my tryout.
So you become a superstar in WWE. You start Told Divas. How much of an influence did you have over your gimmick? Because I think what everyone remembers from your debut was the vignette videos before you actually debuted, right? That you had the hair was very pronounced in the outfit. So how much of an influence did you have over your gimmick, and who else was integral in that as well?
Honestly, I think at the very, very beginning, it was one of those things. It was like a last minute crazy thing of me even being on TV. It wasn't supposed to happen. Live television is like nuts. So I think what happened was Total Divas had just aired and I hadn't been on TV yet because I don't think I've ever shared this in an interview, but I got to keep my full legal name is Natalie Eva Marie. I just go by my middle name for my character. So that's one thing that is, pretty abnormal, keeping your name. But the only way that happened was because all of a sudden Total Divas drops. And then Monday night, all of a sudden it's like my name originally was supposed to be Melania. Drop that out there because I don't think I've ever shared that, but that was originally what was happening. We were talking about names and things of that nature. And, Melania was the one that was going to be for me. And then all of a sudden Total Divas aired, I believe, on a Sunday. Monday Night Raw comes, And then my first time on TV was I was valeting Natalia. And it was just like, you know what? Eva Marie. Because obviously Natalie, Natalia, that's not gonna work. So we'll go by her middle name. Boom. And then that's how I kind of initially got onto television. And for character wise, I think it really coincide with obviously the amazing WWE universe and also Total Divas. So it had I think a very weird combination of those kind of mixed into the bowl.
I would like to say, on behalf of everyone, I'm glad you were not in WWE in 2016 with the ring name Melania.
Oh my god,
That could have been interesting.
I mean, honestly, if you're totally right, it could have been either booze times a million, a lot more heat, or the opposite. Who knows?
That's the thing is, I'm worried because I don't know what the action would have been.
Yeah.
So there's two more things I want to talk about.
Yeah.
So you have this YouTube channel.
Yes, and I'm glad that you brought it up though, because I just started every single Wednesday at 3 p.m. a brand new video is going live on my YouTube channel. So I appreciate you bringing that up.
Yes, and I think what I appreciated about it, because I looked at some of your videos, was you offer up so much of yourself in these videos, which is rare for celebrities of your stature to do something like that. But I think when people of your stature open themselves up, it kind of helps people realize on a much grander scale that they're not facing these issues alone. And one of them was teenage drinking. And I just wanted you to share a little bit about your experience with that, because I think it is important for people who have or are experiencing, whether from, the shoes of the person or even the parent,
right,
that these are things that happen. There are ways to get out of it.
For sure. Yeah, so I went ahead, and I think also going back to Total Divas season 1, so doing the reality show, it was one of those things, it was kind of a game time moment for me, where I was working a 12-step program at the time, and this is my third time trying to get sober. I celebrated 10 years on March 24th, so a couple weeks back.
Congratulations.
And thank you very much. But when season 1 came out, I had a talk with my family and my husband, and it was one of those things where before, I was very, very insecure and extremely embarrassed about me having to work a 12-step recovery program of Alcoholics Anonymous, and also being an addict and alcoholic. I just felt very ashamed of that because I thought that it was weak. And what really helped was, okay, well, we're doing this reality show. So I wanted to be the person that told that story out of my own mouth, because it's so powerful when you take anything that you're shameful or insecure about and you speak about it, because then nobody can use that against you as any type of fuel. If you remember in the movie 8 Mile, at the very end, Eminem has his rap battle, right? And he basically takes the mic and he says all of the things that he already knows the guy's going to cut him down with, and then the guy literally is left there standing because he has nothing to say. So when you own all your bullshit, all your what good, bad, or indifferent, no one can really say anything except for, wow, So I really wanted to make sure that it was my voice initially telling the public that I was a recovering alcoholic and addict. So I kind of said that and touched on it in season 1. And then now, because of WWE and Total Divas, I've been given a really big platform, and I just want to share my experience, strength, and hope that it's not easy. It's extremely hard. It's one of the hardest things I've ever had to do, but it's one of the most, it's the proudest thing. I went from being shameful to now it's something I'm super proud of, and we'll talk about it at any time that I can, because there is hope. You don't have to be feeling like this is it, whether it's you're struggling with it, or if you have a sibling, or even if you're a parent. Like, my parents are my heroes, and it has nothing to do with how I was raised. I was raised extremely, like, I love my parents so much, and it killed me that they feel any or had felt anything like, oh, I wish I could have done something different, because it's a disease. And so now it's all about the solution. And the solution is, one, making sure that you ask for help. And then also, for me, I had to walk into the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous, and that honestly is the easy part. Working the steps and actually putting everything into action, that's the hard part because it takes work. But I know for a fact I wouldn't be sitting here today having this conversation with you, be married and love where I am in my life, and not want to, at the lowest part, suicidal and not happy with who I am. So, I have the most, I owe everything to Alcoholics Anonymous. That's for sure.
Yeah, and we talked about that before we recorded. And again, I wanted to emphasize that because I went through the same thing, and I think it's important. I hit bottom real hard in 2012, and it's unfortunately, though, for some people like me, I'm so stubborn. That was the only thing that was going to, get me to snap out of it. Now I'm lucky and have a great job and married with 2 kids, but wouldn't have got there without that first. So
Sure.
It is what it is. But on a lighter note, enough of that. On a lighter note, I read that you're a San Francisco Giants fan.
I am all
It's
day,
baseball
baby.
season.
I know. I know. I don't even want to talk about the Giants right now.
Well, I'm a Cubs fan.
Okay.
So if anyone knows heartbreak, it's this guy. I mean, all day. I could all day. I mean, 2016, greatest year of my baseball fandom for obvious reasons, but I can name you 30 more that were trash.
Oh, for sure.
So I get it. Last question.
But 2021 for me, though, you have to understand, because you are a baseball fan and you're a Cubs fan, 2021 was huge for me because I got to throw out the first pitch. And not only that, but so Will Clark is my favorite baseball player. Will the Thrill, number 22, first base. I love the guy. Had a little message for me, and that literally was, I mean, they could play like shit for the rest of the time being. I'm good.
Hero, for those of you who do not know Will Clark, he is the hero of the 88 World Series.
Dude,
dude. Did he catch your first pitch?
He didn't.
Oh.
I know.
Who caught it?
Who did? I want to say, was it the mascot? Who caught my first? I think
mascot.
I think so. Don't be talking smack about Lucille. I love Lucille.
I was hoping you were going to at least say like Yastrzemski or somebody.
No, I think the boys were all in the back. They were getting ready for the big game.
That's fair. Well, here's to a good season. Hopefully our teams don't hurt us. I think the Cubs actually have a winning record right now, which is bizarre.
Yeah, I know the Giants don't. They lost to the Dodgers the other night, which is horrible because I can't stand the Dodgers.
The Dodgers are really good though this year. It's fine.
I bleed orange. I don't bleed blue.
Wait till you play like the Padres or something, then you'll get back. Or the Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks are gonna be slim pickings this year. Arizona's your chance.
Okay.
So, final question.
Yes.
And I think when people read this interview, when they get to the bottom, this is going to be the one question they're thinking about.
Mm-hmm.
Are we going to see Eva Marie in a ring again before you hang up the boots?
I don't think I'll ever really technically hang them up. So I want to say it's one of those things. I have such a good relationship with WWE. I just had a conversation with them a couple weeks ago, talking with them with WWE Studios, and there's always conversation. You never know. I mean, I love the company. I'm really blessed because it's given me this platform. And I know that I wouldn't be where I am today without WWE. But that competition, that competitor inside feels like I just have unfinished business. And I have to say, I have to leave it. I mean, it's the worst way to answer a question, but it's not the end of Eva Marie. I mean, I could come back with dark hair. I could have a dark era. Come back with dark hair, team up with Bray Wyatt, do a little something there.
I need to write this down. Hold on a second.
I mean, I'm thinking, to me, that would be kind of dope. And then also, I mean, my last in 2021, I did have a little, issue with Alexa Bliss. So if I come back with dark hair, we can run it back a little bit.
I love it. I hope
Thank
that
you.
happens.
Thank you.
Eva Marie, thank you for giving us your time.
Thank you so much. And also, don't forget, I just partnered up with Tier, which I am wearing. That fitness, health is everything to me because health is wealth, especially seeing my dad go through everything he's gone through, and like how your mom is. And
Yep.
it's one of those things where it really put in perspective of like, if you don't have your health, you have nothing. You really don't. It sounds so cliche, but yet when it's taken away from you, or you see somebody that you love that can't do the normal activities that we take for granted on a daily basis. So I'm really excited because I just partnered up with Tier Sport. They have their roster is sick with athletes. I got to meet the CEO Matt when I was at the Rogue Invitational, because I'm a huge CrossFit fan as well. So I was at the Rogue Invitational because another partnership of mine is with Rain Total Body Fuel, which is I guess the right terminology is it's just another part of Monster Energy, one of their other drinks. And so I was out there supporting one of our athletes, Thor Bjornsson, which is the world's strongest man.
Oh yeah.
And it just so happened that Matt was there and we connected, and it's all about, I really am all about teamwork makes the dream work. And so luckily the synergy was there, and their athletic gear is amazing. Their athletes, Annie Thor's daughter, another stud CrossFit athlete, Ellie Turner, another one. And it's a brand new partnership that I'm really, really excited about. Plus, I get down in the gym, so I got to make sure my clothes can handle that sweat. And plus they're cute. Anytime that I'm not in the gym, I'm wearing workout clothes. That's just like how I am. Unless I have to be in a dress, then I'll rock that too.
Well, I mean, one leads to the other, right?
Exactly.
The gym leads to confidence in a dress. That's
bam. Exactly. Break a sweat every day, and trust me, you'll feel different.
Is there a website for that we can go to?
Yes, you can actually. It's tiersport.com, but you could also go to any profile on my Instagram. You just click the link, and then it'll take you there. And their Jolie Elite for the ladies is amazing, and all the shoes and stuff that you guys see me on my Instagram working out in, especially I know the ladies are asking me about my neon shoes that I run in and work out in. They're on there too, so check them out.
Thank you for your time. And
absolutely.
I'm sure I speak on behalf of everyone that we hope to see you back in the wrestling world soon.
TJ, you are the man. I really, really enjoyed this conversation. It's really, really cool to sit down with somebody and have way too many things in common, especially this gaming situation between you and my husband as well. So
we're going to talk about it off air. Yeah.
Awesome.